の勉強はどうですか？この漢字を読みましょう。4、5、6、山、川、私。皆さんは漢字が好きですか？今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょうね。Early in the course, you already learned how to say I like something. We've seen sentences like these. 寿司が好きです。漫画は好きですか？ In this lesson, we will expand on that structure. 好き comes from the na adjective 好きな. So the pattern is just like 元気. So besides saying 好きです and its negative 好きじゃありません, you can use the adjective 好きな to modify a noun. 好きな食べ物は何ですか? The opposite of 好きな is 嫌いな. 嫌いな. This means to dislike very much or hate. In fact, it's so strong that it also means least favorite. Can you ask someone what their least favorite food is? 嫌いな食べ物は何ですか? How would you say, I hate natto, which is fermented soybeans? 納豆が嫌いです。You can intensify 好きな or 嫌いな by attaching 大 in front of them. 大好きな、大嫌いな。アニメが好きです。魚が嫌いです。Again, 好きな and 嫌いな are not adjectives, not verbs. So, their grammar is different from the English to like and to hate. In fact, structurally, a more literal translation of アニメが好きです would be more like anime is pleasing to me. The object you like or dislike is indicated using the particle が. There is an implied 私は, but that is generally understood from who is speaking. So, there's usually no need to say yourself in the sentence. But if you do want to clarify who likes something, you can attach the topic 私は or 僕は, etc., meaning as for me. If you want to contrast two sentences, でも is a conjunction meaning but, which appears at the beginning of a second sentence to contrast with something said in the first sentence. 私はアニメが好きです。でも、友達はアニメが嫌いです。Note that even アニメが can be omitted from the second sentence because the meaning is already understood just by saying. アニメが好きです。でも、友達は嫌いです。What about asking, what kind of something do you like? Here, the word どんな is used. For example, どんな漫画が好きですか? So, the general pattern is どんな something が好きですか? Let's ask what style of cooking I like.We can use the word 料理 for cooking in general or for specific cooked dishes. 料理. Now, please ask me the question. どんな料理が好きですか? And my answer is メキシコ料理が好きです。皆さんもメキシコ料理が好きですか? 嫌いですか? Now, let's try something slightly more complex. Sometimes we would like to express whether we like or dislike doing something. In this case, we need to be able to combine a verb with 好きです or else with 嫌いです. In English, you say either I like to watch movies or I like watching movies. Either is okay. Either in the infinitive form to watch or the gerund form watching. But it's not grammatical to say I like watch movies. Similarly, in Japanese, it's not grammatical to say 映画を見るが好きです. We must use something like the English gerund watching. In English, you attach ing to the verb. In Japanese, we attach the nominalizer no to the plain dictionary form of the verb. 映画を見るのが好きです. 漢字を書くのが好きです. 走るのが好きです. 走る is an u verb which means to run. 走る. 走る. Here are a couple of new words for you. 服 means clothes and 選ぶ means to choose. 服 選ぶ. So can you say, I like choosing clothes? 服を選ぶのが好きです. So how would you say, I don't like to cook? You can use 料理をする for the verb to cook. 料理をするのが好きじゃありません. Or you may say, I hate cooking. 料理をするのが嫌いです. You can use the phrase verb のは followed by all sorts of adjectives. For example, 料理をするのは楽しいです. Where the e adjective 楽しい means fun. 楽しい. The pattern here is verb のは adjective です. But it's also okay to use verb のが. The difference is where the focus is placed on the sentence. I'll talk about it in a later lesson, but for now, the more common pattern is verb のは adjective です. Let's talk about more things that are fun to do. How about reading books is fun? As we learned last time, book is 本. The word to read is 読む. So, 本を読むのは楽しいです. How about singing is fun? To sing is 歌う. 歌う. 歌うのは楽しいです. And I hope you want to say studying Japanese is fun. You begin with 日本語を勉強する. 日本語を勉強するのは楽しいです. But not everything is fun, is it? Just waiting around can be boring. The adjective for boring is つまらない. つまらない. 待つのはつまらないです. Let's try to say it's boring to stay at home. Use うちにいる to mean to be or stay at home. うちにいるのはつまらないです. There may be times when you feel an activity requires too much energy or time. The perfect adjective to express that feeling is 面倒な. Or more casually, you can say めんどくさい. 臭い means it has the stinky smell of 面倒. Either is a way to say something is troublesome or bothersome. Basically, whenever you just simply don't feel like making the effort. 面倒な. めんどくさい. let's try to say cooking requires too much time and energy. You can use either of them, but let's just use 面倒な here. 料理をするのは面倒です。How about going on a trip? The phrase to go on a trip or travel is 旅行をする。旅行をする。How could you say going on a trip is too much trouble? In other words, I feel too lazy to go on a trip. 旅行をするのは面倒です。Earlier, I showed you sentence beginning conjunction でも which means but. Here, I'd like to introduce you to another conjunction that can be attached to the beginning of a sentence. It is だから which means so, therefore, that's why, etc. Do you understand the meaning of the next two sentences? I'm going to include the word 毎日, which means every day. 毎日。うちにいるのが嫌いです。だから毎日出かけます。わかりますか？そうです。The sentences mean, I hate staying at home, so I go out every day. How about the next two sentences? The word いろいろな means various or different kinds of. いろいろな。いろいろな料理を食べるのが好きです。だからレストランに行くのは楽しいです。どうですか？意味がわかりますか？意味 is the word for meaning. Yes, the sentences mean I like eating different kinds of food. Therefore, it's fun to go to restaurants. Now, we'll try the other conjunction introduced earlier, でも or but. For the next two sentences, let me give you two new words. 海, which means sea or ocean, and 泳ぐ, to swim. 海, 泳ぐ. First sentence. 海に行くのは楽しいです。The second sentence. でも、泳ぐのは嫌いです。どうですか？ They mean, it's fun to go to the beach, but I hate swimming. 海に行く literally means to go to the sea or the ocean. But we normally use it also for going to the beach. You have learned to express and understand more complex sentences. So now, let's listen to a dialogue. このレッスンのダイアログを聞きましょう。Here's the situation. Becky and Kenji start off in the manga section at a bookstore. They talk about what they've been seeing recently, which is 最近. And they talk about what's popular or 人気がある, literally has popularity. 人気がある. This phrase literally means to have popularity. Becky asks for recommendations or おすすめ, and that leads to an idea that they'll go to a manga cafe, which in Japan is known as a manga 喫茶. Short for 喫茶店, meaning coffee shop. あ、その漫画、面白いですか？最近よく見ますよね。
ええ、これは今、とても人気がありますよ。
あ、そうですか？これは知りません。でも、私も漫画を読むのは好きですよ。
そうですか。ベッキーさんはどんな漫画が好きですか？
私は少女漫画が好きです。ケンジさんは？
僕は少年漫画ですね。漫画を選ぶのは楽しいですよね。
おすすめはありますか？
あ、それじゃあ、一緒に漫画喫茶に行きませんか？
あ、いいアイデアですね。
駅の近くの漫画喫茶は綺麗です。漫画もたくさんありますよ。
それじゃあ週末に行きましょうか。
ええ、そうしましょう。
どうですか？わかりますか？ Of course, many Japanese people, adults and children of all ages enjoy Japanese comic books known as manga. 日本人は漫画が大好きです。There are a variety of genres of manga aimed at different kinds of target audience. 漫画にはいろいろなジャンルがあります。Probably the most well-known genres are shonen manga and shoujo manga. Although shonen means boy and shoujo means girl, those are not everyday words for boys and girls today, so let's keep those words for the manga genres and target audience groups. Shonen manga are primarily aimed at teenage male readers. Some of you may have heard the manga or anime titles such as Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece, 鬼滅の刃, Demon Slayer, etc. Those belong to the boy manga category, often with a lot of action, and the primary characters are often male teens. Young female readers often prefer shoujo manga with young female protagonists whom they can relate to. You may have heard of the anime Sailor Moon, which originally started as a shoujo manga. There is much less action or violence compared to shonen manga, and the readers prefer to read more about human relationships like friendship, rivalry, and above all, romance. I used to buy monthly shoujo manga magazines when I was a young teen because those magazines would often come with lots of colorful, fun gifts. But in both types, sports themes have always been popular. There have been countless baseball and soccer manga, as well as volleyball, tennis, golf, sumo, pro and amateur wrestling, judo, kendo, bike racing, track and field, and I can keep going on and on. スポーツの漫画はとても人気があります。There are manga for adult audience as well. There are a variety of manga depicting various historical events. There are many manga with middle-aged male and female protagonists. Many Japanese manga are pretty much like novels, but stories are told with beautiful pictures. There's a famous series about the life of the kaishain or office worker named Kosakushima. It started in 1983 and the spin-off series is still released by the same creator to this day. Mr. Shima started out as a section chief in a company, but he gets promoted little by little over the years, and eventually he became the president of the company and more. There is even a category called essay manga, where the authors talk about their own life experience, such as living in a foreign country or recovering from cancer. If you are interested in reading manga but not sure which one to choose, a good place to go to is a manga cafe or manga kissa. Besides having a large selection of manga, they have food and drinks. Some of them have private rooms and are open 24 hours a day. Do you remember how to write the kanji for the numbers 4 and 5? Now I will show you the kanji for the numbers 6 to 8. Most of these kanji have only 2 strokes, with the exception of the kanji for 6, which has 4 strokes. 6 7 8. Let's also practice the characters for big and small, 大きい and 小さい. The on reading, or the reading derived from the original Chinese sound, is 大 for big, and you have encountered it in the word 大学生. It literally is big school student. But here, let's learn the kanji in the kun reading, or how we read it with a native Japanese word. 大きい. It's a simple 3-stroke character. When you draw the last 2 strokes, let them flow beautifully. The opposite of 大きい is 小さい. By itself, the kanji is read 小, which is the on reading, or the Chinese-derived reading. The kun reading, or the reading used on a native Japanese word, is ちい, as in 小さい. 小さい. By the way, the words 小 and 大 can be used for number 1 and number 2 in the restroom. Some toilets indicate small and big for the amount of water necessary for flushing. The last kanji for this lesson is 今, now, with 4 strokes. If this kanji is combined with the character for day or he, the combination reads as 今日, which is the word for today. 今日. This exact combination can also be read in a more formal context as 今日, which means the present day, or even nowadays or these days. We can often tell from the context whether to read it as ordinary 今日 or more formal 今日. 今日, as in 今日の日本. This word 今日 also appears in the basic greeting こんにちは. 皆さん、どうですか? このレッスンの漢字はあまり難しくありませんか? たくさんひらがなと漢字を書きましょうね. Keep practicing until you can write them without looking at the character. それでは皆さん、また会いましょう. See you soon!